Mom texted, "We're skipping your son's birthday trying to save money." I replied, "I understand." The next day, I watched their live stream. Huge party, mountains of gifts, all for my sister's kids. My son whispered, "Guess they forgot me again." I quietly cut off their payments. By 9 a.m., Dad was on my porch, pounding and yelling forgiveness. I'm standing in the kitchen frosting cupcakes when the text comes in. "We're skipping Mason's birthday, trying to save money." It's from my mom. No emojis, no explanation, just that. I stare at it for a second. Then I text back, "I understand." But I don't, not really, and not in that moment. I don't tell my husband, I don't say anything at all, because Mason's still upstairs, carefully folding his little paper invites. He made them himself, drawing dinosaurs on every single one. He's turning 10, double digits, a whole decade. He's been telling everyone like he just got accepted into some secret club. He's proud. And I'm trying to keep it that way. We planned the whole party together. Backyard dinosaur scavenger hunt, volcano cupcakes, a pizza bar, and that green gummy worm cake he begged for. He wanted everything to be green. Even the lemonade. The guest list is small, just close friends, my husband's parents, a couple of our neighbors. And then my side, my mom, dad, my sister Lauren and her girls, Ellie and Sadi. Everyone RSVP'd yes. Even mom and dad, so I don't expect anything to go wrong. Neither does Mason. But when party day comes, something feels off. Every car that pulls up isn't theirs. Mason keeps pretending he's not watching the street, but I see it. He keeps asking, "Do you think Grandma's bringing her cookies again?" I smile and say probably, but I already know. They're not coming, no call, no reason. Just gone, the party carries on, the kids laugh. Mason blows out his candles, but I see the moment he figures it out. He's opening presents, all polite and grateful, when he looks down and whispers so quietly I almost miss it. "Guess they forgot me again." And that's when I almost break. Later that night I check my phone, a text from my mom, sent early that morning. "We're skipping Mason's birthday, trying to save money." No apology, no rain check. Just nothing, which would hurt less if I didn't wake up the next morning and see my sister's Facebook livestream. Balloon streamers, balloons, a full party setup in mom and dad's backyard. Wrapped gift 2 huge cakes. One with unicorns, the other a pink crown. Sadi opening a new bike, Ellie unwrapping a tablet, lollipop gift bags, decorations. My dad recording everything like it was a movie. It's a birthday party, a big one. For my sister's kids. The same people who couldn't afford to drive 20 minutes for my son's birthday had thrown a Pinterest-level bash the very next day. I didn't say anything. I just showed the live stream to my husband. He watched it, set his coffee down, and said one thing, "That's it, we're done." No more bills, no more groceries, no more favors, and we meant it. We didn't fight. We didn't argue. We just quietly shut the door on them. Financially, emotionally. But they noticed. Fast, because by 9 a.m. the next morning, my dad was on our front porch, pounding like he was trying to break the door down. And when I opened it, he was already yelling, "Have you ever had family betray your child like this? Comment your city below. I want to know how your story would have ended." My dad doesn't wait for the door to open all the way. He pushes right past it, voice already raised. "Why the hell didn't the grocery money show up this week? Why haven't you answered your mother's texts? And what's with your husband ignoring my calls?" He says it like we owe him answers. Like we're the ones in the wrong. I don't say anything. I just stand there. Mason's upstairs, probably still asleep. And here's my father, red-faced and loud, like he's the head of some boardroom we forgot to check in with. Then he says something that makes me freeze. "I heard Mason's party was nice. That's good. At least the boy had something." Like that was enough. Like a crumb from the table would do. That's when my husband steps in. He walks to the door, calm but sharp. He asks my dad straight up, "Why'd you lie? Why'd you say you couldn't afford to come when you were hosting a party the next day?" Dad shrugs, says, "It's not like that. Those girls are just easier to celebrate." And then adds, "Mason doesn't need all that stuff anyway. He's got you too." He says it like it's a compliment, like we should be grateful they decided our son didn't need to feel special. That's when my husband ends it. "We're done. No more help. You need groceries. Call someone else. You need repairs. Hire someone. If you can't show up for a 10-year-old boy who worships you, you don't get to show up when your bills are due." Dad scoffs. Like we're the problem, like we are ungrateful. He tries to guilt me. After everything we've done for you, Katie, I stare at him, calm, quiet, and I ask him one question. Did you forget Mason's birthday, or did you just not care? He doesn't answer. He just looks at me like he's waiting for me to break, to cry, to say sorry, to take it back. But I don't. He mutters something about regret, turns, and walks back to his truck. Drives off like he didn't just burn the last bridge standing. Later that day, I find Mason playing with a new toy from his uncle. He looks up and asks, "Is Grandma and Grandpa mad at us now?" I smile and lie the best I can. "No, buddy, they just need some space." But he knows. I can see it in his eyes. He knows. That night, my husband and I sit in the kitchen. I tell him maybe I overreacted. He just looks at me and says something I'll never forget. "Katie, it's not even about what they did to you anymore. It's about what they're doing to him." And he's right. Because Mason's always noticed. He noticed when his cousins got surprise gifts and he didn't. When Ellie got a Facebook post for second place in her art contest, and Mason's name didn't even come up when he won the science fair. When Sadie sang, "Twinkle, Twinkle," and got flowers, but Mason's whole school play came and went without one text. He never complained, never pouted, he just got quieter. And that silence, it scared me more than any tantrum ever could, so we stopped everything. No announcement, no warnings, just stopped. We turned off the faucet, no more money. No more help, and they noticed. Because 2 days later, my sister Lauren showed up at my door. No warning, just her, the girls, and a wrapped gift. And the look on her face told me this wasn't a regular visit. Lauren doesn't knock twice. She just stands there, tired. Ellie's holding a wrapped box with a shiny green bow. Sadie clutches a small envelope. Neither of them will look me in the eye. Lauren says, quiet, "Can I talk to you?" I let them in. She doesn't make small talk, doesn't even take off her coat. We sit in the living room while the girls go pet our dog. And for a second, there's silence. A heavy one. Then she takes a breath. "I didn't come to Mason's party because I couldn't. I wanted to, I really did, but I couldn't." I don't interrupt. She tells me she's been having chest pain, tightness, shortness of breath. She went to urgent care. They ran tests. It might be her heart. She didn't tell anyone, not even her husband. She was scared. She says she sat in her car the morning of Mason's party. The gift was in the passenger seat. She was dressed, ready, but she couldn't move. Couldn't pretend to smile when her world might be collapsing. She thought she could make it up to us the next day. So she told the girls they'd stop by Grandma and Grandpa's first, just to drop off the gift. But when they got there, the decorations were already up. Unicorn bounce house, pastel banners, mountains of gifts, 2 cakes, one with Sadie's name in pink frosting, the other shaped like a crown. It wasn't a quick backyard hangout. It was a full-on party, one they'd planned behind our backs, and no one ever told her they were skipping Mason's birthday for it. She says she asked Mom why. You know what Mom said? "Because he's a boy. Boys don't need that kind of stuff. You know how Katie is, she overdoes everything." That's when Lauren left. She didn't stay for cake, didn't stay for presents. She tells me all this now, weeks later, like she's been carrying a concrete block on her chest and just set it down. Then she looks at me and says the thing that finally breaks me. They don't care about Mason the way they care about my girls. And I knew it. Deep down, I'd always known it. But hearing it said out loud by my sister, it hit different. She calls Mason down. He comes in slow, unsure. Then he sees Ellie and Sadie and his face softens. They hand him the gift and the envelope. He opens the card first, glittery, hand-drawn. Inside, "To Mason, the best cousin in the world. We missed you, we love you." He doesn't say much, just hugs them both and runs off to play like none of the last week ever happened. Their laughter fills the hallway, soft and easy. Lauren stays behind. She asks if I want her to talk to our parents, not to argue, just to help them understand. I say, I don't know if they're capable. But I don't stop her. That night, I find the gift in Mason's room. It's a little wooden plaque. Painted green and purple. "Best cousin ever." He's asleep, one arm flopped over it like it's treasure. And for the first time in weeks, I feel something close to peace. But it doesn't last. Because 2 days later, Lauren calls me. And the first thing she says is, "I talked to them, I wish I hadn't." Lauren doesn't even say hello, just starts talking, voice flat. "I talked to them, I shouldn't have." She tells me she drove over alone, left the girls at home. Didn't tell her husband, Didn't tell me, just walked through the back door like we used to as kids. She said the house smelled like lemon polish and toast, like nothing bad ever happened there. Mom was folding laundry, drinking coffee. Dad was outside fiddling with the hose. Lauren sat down and asked the simplest question, "Why didn't you come to Mason's birthday?" Mom didn't even blink. "It wasn't a good time. You know how tight money's been." Lauren pushed a little. "That's not what you told Katie, and the party for the girls, that wasn't tight budgeted either." Then she asked it. "Do you love Mason at all?" Mom sighed, like she was being pestered. Then she said it, flat, cold. "Katie's always been dramatic, Mason's the same, he'll get over it, they always do." Lauren waited for a laugh, a smile, some kind of walk back. Nothing. Then Dad came inside. She asked him straight, "Why do you treat them like they don't matter?" And my dad, the man who used to call me his strong girl at the county fair, just shrugged. "Katie never made things easy. Mason's the same. You were more like us. Natural, like that's just how the weather is, like it wasn't a choice, like it wasn't cruelty." Lauren told me she stood up then and said, "I won't bring the girls over anymore, not until you own what you did. Not just to Katie, but to Mason." Mom shook her head. "That's your choice, but you'll regret keeping them away from their grandparents." Lauren just walked out. No yelling, no drama. She said it felt like finally setting down a weight she'd been dragging for years. When she finishes telling me this, I don't cry. I don't even feel hurt anymore. I just feel done. They picked a side, and it wasn't ours. That night, I tuck Mason in. He's got the best cousin ever plaque on his nightstand. I sit in the hallway afterward, thinking about every time I twisted myself into someone they might accept. The favors, the careful texts. The birthday invites I kept sending, knowing they wouldn't come. It wasn't about effort. It was about who they were willing to care about. The next morning, there's a knock at the door. Not loud, just two soft taps. I open it and see no one. Just a gift bag sitting on the mat, blue and green stripes, Mason's favorite colors. Inside, a dinosaur toy, the exact one he pointed to at the store before his birthday. The one I told him we couldn't afford. No card, no note. My husband checks the doorbell camera. It's my mom. She parked 2 houses down, walked up, dropped the bag and left. No knock, no eye contact, no word, just a drive-by guilt drop. Like she thought she could pay off the silence. I didn't give it to Mason. I put it in the back of my closet, because it wasn't about a dinosaur. It was about the fact that she could walk up to our home, hold that bag in her hands, and still choose not to face us. Not him. Not me. You can't fix a hollow relationship with a full gift bag. You can't undo years of silence with one overpriced toy. She thought I'd hand it to Mason and move on. Instead, I shut the door. But then, Lauren came back one more time. And what she said next finally ended it all. Lauren walks into my kitchen like she's been carrying a weight all day, still in her coat, doesn't even sit. She says flat out, "They're never going to change." And I don't ask what she means. I already know, but she tells me anyway. She went back. One last time, not to argue, not to beg, just to show them. She brought photos from Mason's party, him in his dinosaur hat, handing out cupcakes. Checking the driveway every half hour until he finally gave up. She read them the card. Guess they forgot me again. She even told them about the toy Mom left, how it didn't fix anything, how it actually made it worse. She looked them in the eyes and asked, "Do you even realize what you've done?" You know what our mom said. "Katie's always been emotional. She's been like this since she was little. You know that, Mason's the same. It's not our fault they take everything so personally." Lauren pushed harder. "So what? You just don't like them. You don't love them." Mom didn't flinch. "We've always had a stronger bond with you. It's not personal. It's just easier." Then Dad joined in, didn't even try to soften it. "Some kids are just more lovable than others. Your girls, they light up a room. Mason doesn't. He's fine, but he's not them." Lauren told me she stood there, stunned. She asked one last thing. "Are you okay never seeing Mason again? Are you okay losing Katie completely?" And Dad said, "Katie's always been looking for a reason to cut ties. If this is it, that's on her. We didn't do anything wrong. She just wants attention." That was the end. Lauren walked out. No goodbye, no slam, just silence. Now she's in my kitchen, tears in her eyes, not from guilt, but from the shame of realizing she'd grown up being praised while I was picked apart in the background. Then she says something I'll never forget. "I think I wanted them to love Mason because, deep down, I knew they never really loved you. Not the way they should have. And I was scared they'd do it to your kid, too. She pauses. I won't let that happen. Then she asks the hardest question of all. Do you still want them in your life? And I don't even hesitate. No. That night, Lauren brings the girls over. No one mentions grandparents. They just pull Mason into some new game, something about dino aliens and invisible shields. I watch them run barefoot in the grass, chasing each other like there's no past. Later, I tuck Mason in. He looks at me and asks, Is Grandma still mad at me? I kneel beside him and say the truth. She's not mad, she just doesn't know how to be a good grandma, but that's not your fault, it never will be. He nods, then looks me dead in the eye and says, Don't be sad, Mom, I'm upset too, but we're better off without them, right? I smile. Yeah, buddy, we are. Days pass, then weeks. No texts, no calls, no apology, and we don't miss them. Mason stops checking the mailbox. He stops waiting, and slowly something amazing happens. He gets lighter. He laughs more. He invites Ellie and Sadie over all the time. Starts telling his teachers about a new comic book he's writing with his cousins. He draws a cover. The brave ones, him, the girls, Lauren, my husband, I'm not on the cover. But when I flip the page, he's drawn me holding the entire world behind them. We tape it to the fridge. Lauren comes by more now. Not just for dinners, for nothing. Her husband fixes a squeaky door. Mason goes to the movies with the girls. He says it's the best day of his life. We don't talk about our parents anymore. It's like we turned a page and never looked back. But there's one last thing. 2 weeks later, I'm in the grocery store, a normal day. I turn a corner and nearly run into my mom. She freezes. So do I. She's got frozen pies, flowers, and that wine she used to buy on birthdays. And at the top of her cart, a pack of dinosaur party napkins. We lock eyes. For a second, I think she might speak. But she doesn't. Just gives me that tight smile, the one I grew up with when I said something she didn't like. She leaves the wine, the flowers, the napkins, walks out the doors without a word. I don't follow. I don't call after her. I just finish my shopping. When I get home, Mason's building a couch fort with the girls. My husband's trying to read the newspaper behind a tower of pillows. Lauren's taping cardboard to the side of the command center. The house smells like popcorn and crayons. It's messy, loud, perfect. And that's when it hits me, this is the family we chose, not the one we were handed. The one we built, the one that showed up, when it mattered most. That night, my husband and I sit on the porch. He takes my hand and says, Sometimes, losing the people who hurt you is the kindest thing the universe can do. And he's right. We don't need to keep every door open. Not every door leads somewhere worth going. Some doors, once closed, give you the space to build something better. And we did.